The sales performance of every residential real estate property comes down to these 7 factors, and unfortunately, only 6 of them are within our control. Many sellers think that selling a house is an event. Stick a sign out front, shoot some pics, and slap it on the internet. Getting a home onto the market can certainly be that simple, and if convenience and speed to market is more important than sale price, it can make sense to sell a home this way. However, to maximize the sale price and sell in the least amount of time, listing a home is more of a process rather than an event. It takes a lot of preparation to get to the point that beautiful and artful pictures can be taken, and the period that a home is live on the market is more performance and presentation than speed to market. In this video, I'm going to share with you the real estate industry secrets for selling your home quickly for the most amount of money. They're so simple that anyone can follow them, but they're not all easy to execute on. I'm going to start by telling you what these 7 factors are and explain in detail why they're important and how to use them to your advantage. The 7 factors to selling home for the most money in the least amount of time are: 1. Condition of the property. 2. Photos, video, and media. 3. Marketing distribution. 4. Highlighting best features and highest and best use for the property and ensuring that that buyer submarket is reached. 5. Accessibility for showings. 6. Listing strategy and listing price. And 7. Timing and market conditions. 1. Condition of the property. It's not difficult to understand that the most beautiful homes sell for the most money in the least amount of time. Given the option, a buyer would of course prefer a home that doesn't need any work, meets their needs, and is move-in ready. And just because a home has recent finishes, that doesn't always mean it's in the best condition. You can imagine a late model Tesla that's got a lot of dents and scratches and wear all over its body, and it's been covered up with paint filler. It would certainly affect the value of the car, even if it's a newer, low mileage car. Dolling up a property doesn't mean you have to drop tens of thousands of dollars in renovations and fixes. Though that obviously doesn't hurt, you can spend just a couple $1,000s or less if you don't mind putting in some sweat equity and significantly improve the condition of a home. Condition is in relation to 1. Improving finishes, which is pretty self-explanatory, updating flooring, renovating a bathroom, etc. And 2. Presenting the as-is parts of the home in the best possible light. The 2 most productive condition improving activities to show your as-is home are decluttering your home, which can be done at almost no cost, and painting your home, which can be done at very low cost. Adding in-stage furniture can take that a step further and also provoke the imagination of a buyer to show them the potential of the property. Buyers are extremely visual and don't always have the best imagination. Staging a dated home can take it from walking into a 70s era time capsule to walking into a minimalistic, nouveau chic home. If you want some more ideas on how to affordably improve condition, check out my video on cheap affordable renos here. Lastly, I often run into questions on why a seller should bother improving a home they're going to leave, and here's a quick explanation. Even if a buyer's budget can extend an extra $100,000 above what they will be willing to pay for a home, and the renovation is worth approximately an extra $100,000, that doesn't mean that the buyer has the time, the abilities, or have the means to deal with the additional financing for a renovation. Renovations are often paid for in cash, and as most buyers are putting the majority of their cash into the down payments for their home, they have little left to pay for improvements. So due to the restrictions in financing and challenges in executing it, a renovation on the resale market is often worth more than the cost to complete it. 2. Pictures and media. Every single person that walks through a home for sale will have decided to do so by looking at the photos and media first. High quality photography and video is the most important form of marketing for your listing. And no, not all photos or the order in which they're displayed are the same. The goal of your photography and media is to get a buyer to book a showing. There are limits to the number of photos that can be loaded on the MLS. With the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board, it's 40 photos. So depending on the size of the property, you may need to be very selective with the photography. Well done photos will either 1. Provoke the curiosity of a buyer, 2. Satisfy a required feature, or 3. Showcase a unique value or characteristic to a property. A good photo can do just one of these or do multiple at the same time. Let's start with curiosity. Look at these 2 photos. Both are the first in a series of listing photos. One is of a building and another is of a beautifully staged room. Both offer value. One is simply a fact. This is the building where the unit exists. The other evokes curiosity. This is one of the beautiful rooms in the unit. With the latter, I become very curious on what the other rooms look like. You too, huh? Then you'll be more inclined to see the other photos. These artistic tight shots don't offer much in the form of function. We can't see how big the room is or how much storage exists, but they offer a window into moments a buyer would experience in that home. And these moments are warm and exciting and showcase the type of life a buyer can live if they move there. If that's a lifestyle a buyer is seeking and all other needs for the property are met, they will book a showing. However, you can't have 40 pics of artistic shots. It becomes too fluffy. That's where satisfying needs comes in. You need to show the size and layout of rooms and other features of the property such as parking, yard, and storage. Showcasing a unique feature or characteristic can be anything that will be of value to a buyer. Showing the light shining into a south-facing kitchen, the proximity to a school, backing onto a park, showing the scale of a large lot, or heck, even a driveway that is double cut wide. Every property will offer some unique value and characteristics, and it's often hard to capture all of them in photos. Your neighborhood may offer the best in convenience and walkability that someone who doesn't live there simply won't be quite as aware of. For this reason, I believe that video is the best supplement to photography. Toronto MLS listings allow to link one video or virtual tour. Video provides an endless means to capture details, property and neighborhood features, and allows you to embed a floor plan or drone footage into a well-written story. But my favorite feature of video is it also allows me to speak in detail on the aspects of a home as a prospective buyer looks through them. This is kind of a soft sell, but it removes the question of whether a buyer will realize the features in a room or a home versus spelling it out for them. For example, it's hard to show the orientation or view of every window, but if a window is south-facing and overlooks a golf course, that's something I want to show them. Being able to show and speak to these features on video hits different brain centers than text or photos, and also allows a buyer to revisit a home they've already seen to see if they like it as much as they thought. Number 3. Marketing and distribution. Straight up, how are you getting the word out to the world about the property? Listing on the MLS will bring the property to the attention of probably 95% of buyers. It goes up on the MLS database, the Realtor.ca feed is updated a few hours later, and other brokerage syndicated websites are fed down with a listing, usually a couple hours after that. Within 24 hours, any active buyers that have a Realtor will be sent an alert for the property based on its location, features, and price. That's all fine and dandy, but even as a real estate agent who checks the MLS multiple times a day, it's hard to see every listing, and a property can slip through the cracks. Here are some additional ways to beef up marketing and distribution that are very effective. Email out all active realtors in the neighborhood about the property. It may be the perfect match for one of their prospects. List and share the property on social media. If the social network is large enough and the photos and media were done well, it will be another touch for a prospective buyer or their agent and be useful to get their eyes onto the home. Door knock the neighborhood. Let them know the property is available and you'll be hosting an open house. Sometimes the neighbors have relatives or friends that they would like to have live close by. Send out flyers to the surrounding neighborhood. Without huge manpower, door knocking can only reach so many homes. That's where Canada Post comes in, and you can reach thousands of homes within a week. And lastly, there's paid online marketing campaigns. This is not particularly effective, but does help in getting additional eyeballs on the listing. 4. Highlighting best features and highest and best use for the property. For the majority of homes, the highest and best use is simply its current use as a family home. However, every so often I run into a property that is built a certain way or is in a certain location that its highest and best use is not as a family home. For example, if you imagine a detached home by a major intersection in a commercial residential zone in downtown Toronto, its highest value is likely not as a family home, but for its development or commercial potential, or a dated cozy home with a dirt floor crawl space on a large lot. Yes, you could put in an extra $5,000 to improve the property and hope for a first-time home buyer, but it may be better suited to a builder who would demolish the property and rebuild a larger home, as any minor updates won't change the limited size of the current home. If the highest and best use is not the property's existing use, you will want to make sure that you're marketing to the right potential buyers and the right eyeballs are seeing the property, which goes back to ensuring that you have the proper marketing distribution and market positioning. 5. Accessibility for showings. This is pretty straightforward, but we've lured a buyer and they want to see the property. But if the home is difficult to see or is only available to see during inconvenient hours, then that buyer may never end up seeing it. And if they don't see it, then they certainly won't be bringing forth an offer. This is why I encourage to put up minimal resistance in booking and seeing a property. You want to have a wide window to allow showings to happen. Ease of viewing is also my main reason for liking open houses. I highly encourage them if possible. An open house allows for very low-level curious or non-committal buyers to view a property without an agent or booking. Sometimes the home hits all the right features and is the perfect fit. They may never have come to the house otherwise. The ease of seeing the home brought in an offer. 6. Listing strategy and listing price. A listing can die or thrive based on its price. If a property is priced way above what the market is willing to pay for it, no matter how beautiful the home is, the price disqualifies the buyer before they've even had a chance to seriously consider it as an option. If you think about how you search for a home on a website, usually the first criteria we enter is location and price. Now imagine if the property falls outside of that range and the query removes it from the list as we search. The right buyers won't ever have seen the listing. We can have executed perfectly on every measure up to that point and fall flat on our faces with list price and get no showings. Depending on listing strategy and the seller's needs, we generally want the property to be listed within a few percentage points of market value. And sometimes it's best for it to be slightly above market value, sometimes slightly below. Listing strategy is very much dependent on market conditions. There are two main ways to sell a home. The offer date strategy, which means listing a home and not reviewing any offers until an appropriate market period has passed. That's usually about 7 to 10 days on market. From there, you take the best offer and hope there is some competition that increases the offer amount. The second strategy is reviewing offers anytime, the classical way. You list the home, review offers as they come in, and negotiate and work with offers that are satisfactory. There are a number of variations to these two strategies that can work in a seller's favor depending on market conditions. And to see the variation, you can again watch my video on different strategies here. Buyers don't like competition. They like to know what to expect with price and terms and want to dictate them at their own pace. In a fast rising market, the offer date strategy proved extremely successful. The top offers continued to beat each other to establish the new standard of what market value is. In a slow, flat, or contracting market, such as the market that we're experiencing now, the offer date strategy generally doesn't yield as strong results as the list and wait classical strategy. Buyers tend to be much more cautious in considering all their options and whether they can shoulder the financial costs of making an offer. As such, the offers anytime classical method often yields better results in a slow market, even if it means selling for under the list price. 7. Timing and market conditions. The final factor that determines how quickly and how well your home sells is the one that we have absolutely no control over. We could have executed perfectly on every factor up to this point, but if 3 other identical units in your building were to go up for sale within days of your listing, of course that would affect how your home sells. If your next door neighbor, which is a mirror image of your home, lists and sells to a lowball offer weeks before you go live, of course that will affect how your home sells. If the next interest rate hike is larger than expected and spooks buyers into waiting, of course that will affect the market, which will affect how your home sells. I say this to illustrate not that market conditions can wipe out all of our hard work, which is what may seem like what is happening, but instead that market value is constantly fluctuating and exists on a spectrum. During periods of economic instability, it flutters more widely, but as quickly as it falls, it can quickly rise. As a seller, being aware of your true motivations and your absolute costs for your moves are paramount to safely and quickly making the move. Selling below your initial expectations, but still at market value, may be a wash if it also means buying below your initial expectations. So that's it for me. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Jonathan Lee, and I'm a real estate agent based out of Toronto. If you like this video, do me a favor and give me a thumbs up. And even better, if you want to watch more real estate education, click on subscribe and you'll be one of the first to catch my next videos. If you're looking to make a move and are wondering what the heck is happening out there, you can book a call with me through Calendly by clicking on the link below in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.